Hi, so today I thought I would make a video about how to write bash scripts that consist of multiple files and how you can source basically other subscripts, you could say, from your main script. So basically, just as a bit of an introduction, in other programming languages, there seems to be a much more straightforward way to achieve this, to write a program that consists of multiple files. There will be basically some function that you can use, and then you can have a subfolder in your main project directory, and then basically when you run that script, it will be able to understand the location where it is, and it will be able to find that subfolder located in the same folder as itself, and it would be able to find the files that you are referring to, and then it can basically run the program in that way. But in Bash it is a bit kind of less straightforward, so that's why I wanted to make this video. Basically, I put together this quick example here. I have the main script that I called test script, and it has this source command here that sources this other file called sourced_script.bash, and yeah, I just put them in the same folder. But in a real project, you might have something like a lib folder where you would put all those files or something like that. But in this case, it doesn't really matter. The point is that it is relative to the to the to the main project folder. So I could have had it in the subfolder in the same folder, but the main thing is that the script is able to understand that, okay, I'm in this folder, and then there's this file here relative to my own location, and I need to refer to it. So basically, in Bash, if you just do what I have here, it won't work because this path is a relative path, and when you run the script, Bash will it basically will only work if you run the script from the same while you are actually CD'd to the directory of your project. So if I run a test script right now, it will say it will work, and we can see the message appearing here. The script was sourced, but if I, for example, move one directory down, and if I now run that script, for which I'll need to also include the directory where it's located, but you could have it on your path as well, and you could just like call it. If it was on your path, you would be able to just like pass test script, but the same thing would happen. And what would happen is it would say no such file or directory, because it's looking in this directory where you are located. So I could even, to make it clear, I can, well, I don't need to do it like this. I can just type pwd, right, to just print the name of the current working directory. So right now I'm in the wrong folder, not in the project folder. So if I run the script right now, I get this. This is the current working directory where I'm in right now. If I now go back to the project folder and I run the script, you can see that the current working directory is of course different, and now it's able to find this file sourced script.bash. So this is kind of the problem we have to figure out how to deal with. Like for a long time I was actually avoiding using this in my scripts, and like I would just kind of go for creating a longer script, because it just, like, based on what I looked up online and stuff, there wasn't any clear solution. People seem to say it's like, well, Bash just can't do that or something like that. But I mean, it's kind of not very reasonable sometimes to create a script of like 5,000 lines or something like that, and you do want to break it up in certain cases, because otherwise the project might just become unmanageable. So basically, I will put links to these two pages that I kind of use as a reference for this. Basically, this is a pretty good article that goes through the kind of the issues with different approaches to how to solve this. Yeah, so I'll leave a link to this in the description. I'm not gonna go over like all of the like possibilities and how you might do it and why it won't work, because people already wrote about this. You can read it over here. Basically, I'll just kind of tell you what I have settled on as a solution for myself, and then you can also refer to these articles, and then you can decide what you personally think about this and what you would like to do if you write a project like this where the program consists of multiple files. So basically, so far I had like two projects essentially, one where I had to do this. Like one of them is like this easy EDL script that I wrote. So if I show you what the project looks like, I basically have this main script here, and then there's this subfolder here called lib, and it contains other files that I'm sourcing from the main script. So some of them are Lua files and some of them are bash files, but we're kind of interested only in the bash part over here. So yes, this script was getting a bit long, and basically this program, it's a preprocessor for MPV EDL format that allows you to kind of create edits, basically edit videos in plain text. Like you can have a plain text file that MPV player can play, and it would be like a virtual file, but then it can like play it as though it was a real file, and then you can have ranges referring to different files in your system from different videos, and then it can play it as a single video. It's a very nice thing, but then the format itself is pretty complicated, so I created this preprocessor to make the editing those files a bit easier. I made videos about this this program on my channel. So, but the point here is that we need to figure out a way to basically determine what the script directory is. And here's basically what I settled on. Like how to find the script directory. I'll just go ahead and copy this from here and go back to our example project here, and I'll paste it in here. So basically, let's see what this does. So basically, this is a variable that I created. I just decided to call it script dir, like as a kind of as a convention in my own scripts. But basically, yeah, script dir. That's what we need to ascertain in order to be able to basically do this. And then you can have this always working, so that the bash can always find this this file wherever you run the script from, like independent of the directory where you're running the script from. So I mean, I can even run it right now and it should work just fine. So if I cd one directory down and run it from there, it still works. So now we kind of, you've seen that this solves the issue. But now let's take a look at what is happening inside of this this line of code. Basically, we're using two commands here, dir name and real path. And then we're referring to the bash source variable here. So the bash source variable, you can find out more about it in the bash reference manual. You can just search for bash _ source, and it will tell you kind of more about what it is. But this definition is pretty convoluted. So essentially, bash source is an array, but the first element of that array will always be the absolute path to the script itself. So bash underscore source. So we don't need to do bash source. Since this is an array, I could have done like this. This would also be kind of equivalent. But if you just do this in bash, that means the same as doing bash source 0. So yes, so now if I run this, you can see that basically whatever I passed as the path to the script on the command line will show up and as the value of bash source. If I ran it from another directory, you can see that just basically what I passed on the command line ends up being the value of bash source. Now if you have the script on the path and you just do like let's just pretend that it's on the path, then it would have like an absolute path to the whole script as bash source. So then we basically use the real path command there to make sure that if this file that we're running is actually a symbolic link, so that it resolves the symbolic link into like a real path of the script, right? That's what the real path command does. Just like a small note about real path, someone might object to using it, and like there's people discussed this over here, so there's kind of other ways to avoid using real path. But basically I am coming from a place of just working with GNU core utils, because yeah, they're like kind of seem to be the standard utilities that, at least like on Debian based systems, they're always there. And real path is now included into the set. So let me find the page that I'm looking for. Yeah, so like this page kind of lists all of the utilities that are included. Here's like the entire list, and we can see now that let me see, real path is now a part of GNU core utils. So like I think yeah, I remember reading somewhere that used to not be part of this set of utilities, but now it's included. So based on this, it's basically like if you are using GNU core utils, which like to my understanding, I haven't tried every Linux distro out there, but it seems like on Linux GNU core utils come with the system, and you should, like, if you have running a reasonably up-to-date distro, then you should have this command available to you by default with the system. So I just decided to use this. So in my scripts, I'll be just like using real path basically. And then once we have the path to the script with symlinks resolved, so we took bash source and we resolved the symlinks by using real path. And now we need to like this gives us the path to the script, but we don't need the script. We need the directory where the script is located. So for that, there's another command that is again standard. I think it's also core utils, their name. Yes, it's core utils. So you can use that to basically get the directory only instead of the path to the file, and then you get exactly what you need to basically add this to your source commands. So for example, if I go back to my easyDL script, let's find some line where I do sourcing. So, well, yes, I created an additional variable here called libdir, but that's just simply, I'll explain what this stuff does in a second. That's kind of, that's my solution to if someone doesn't have real path. So I'll talk about that in a moment. But basically, libdir is simply script dir /lib. So because I just decided that I'm just gonna have a lib directory, and then I'll put all of the stuff that the main script sources in there. So libdir is just script dir /lib, and then I can go just like source libdir and then put the name of the file there, or like if I have a subdirectory there, then the path to that. But the point is that I don't need to worry anymore about the correct path to the file to be sourced once I have determined this, or this rather, script dir. So this is essentially kind of my solution to this. I will include links to these pages here so that you can read more about this and like what else, like what other approaches exist there, but this is what I settled on. Let's see, so let me also explain what I did here basically with all this stuff. So as you can see, I also decided to have like an additional variable in case for some reason this fails. So basically if this fails, then the user can still set this variable to point to the libdir manually. Basically what I do here, I run this script dir line, and then I check for the exit status of this line. So basically if this command substitution fails, then it will return a non-zero exit status, which will result in this message being printed to telling the user that the message says unable to determine EasyEDL's location, please set the EasyEDL libdir environment variable to manually point to a directory containing EasyEDL library files. This is normally a directory called lib, located in the same folder as the main script. So then you can just look, okay, lib located in this folder, and then you can just find the absolute path to that, and then you can just simply go EasyEDL libdir equals whatever the path is. Then you can export it. Well, first of all, like a good idea would be to just test it like this, so you don't have to like set an environment variable for the entire environment. You can just set it like this for one command here to test it if it works. So if it works, then you can simply export it, and obviously this will only last for this session, so you should put this in your bash rc, and then the problem is solved. So even if you don't have real path, for example, or like this fails for some other reason that I can't think of or something like that, basically if this fails, then there's this fallback solution to where you can just point to all the library files manually. I guess like one other possibility is that like someone might not want to have this structure on their system for some reason, and they just want to have like EasyEDL in one location, then they can have this lib folder somewhere else, and then you can still hook everything up so that everything works. So let's see what else is here. So basically, yeah, when this message gets printed, it exits with just exit code 1, which stands for just like error, and then the script doesn't run any further. And if EasyEDL libdir is already set, none of this gets run, so it doesn't go into trying to determine script dir anymore. It will just use EasyEDL libdir if it is set. um, to any value other than like an empty string, basically, to like a non-empty value. And then it also like checks if easyDL is set. So like what this does basically is it says if easyDL is set, then use that, but if it's not set, then use script dir/lib. So then this way the libdir variable will always contain the correct path to the library directory, and then everything else will run smoothly from this point on. So I kind of decided that this is going to be just a standard way that I do it in my scripts, at least in this moment, unless there's some issue with it that I find out about later, or I find a better way or something like that. But at the moment, this is what it is. But yeah, it seems to me like this is a good way to deal with this. Here's another script that I have that uses the same approach. So in this case, I just call this certain environment variable something different. I simply use the script name as a prefix to this libdir variable name. But everything else works just the same. So I don't know where. Here's like another source command here, and this way I can break up the project into as many files as I want, and I don't have to have a huge main file, and so I can sort of like tuck away certain parts of it that just constantly stand in the way, or like if the project is just so complex that you have to have many like modules to it, so you can do that as well in Bash by using this approach. So yeah, I think this is basically it. I kind of talked about everything that I wanted to talk about here. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you and it gives you some ideas on how to approach writing Bash scripts that are more complex than the ones that consist of just one file. So you can have scripts that also source other files, and that way you can have a more complex project that is more manageable, and yeah, you can kind of use the same, take advantage of the same mechanism that you would use in other programming languages, where you can break up the program into multiple files in Bash as well. So yeah, I hope you liked this video and it was valuable and helpful to you, and I will see you in the next one.